Oh my god, it's absolutely amazing. I am so excited to tell you about this. I almost forgot this MMO existed back in the day. It is Warhammer Online, and it is back with the Return of Reckoning project. Now, when I say it's back, it's actually been out for quite some time thanks to some very, very clever devs, but I've just had my head obviously buried in the sand. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically back in the day when World of Warcraft was the god of MMOs, there was lots of games popping up all over the places to be heralded as the next WoW killers. One of the ones that really had a lot of punching weight behind it was Warhammer Online, because it was based in the Warhammer universe and very, very exciting. You got to play as both Chaos or the Order. There was 15 classes on each side, and the great thing about this, it wasn't just PvE themed, it was themed around what they called RVR. And RVR was just a fancy word for their PvP system, but it was amazing and on a scale that wasn't seen before. You needed a juicy rig at the time to play this, and it was just so good, because if you got bored with the PvE, which actually wasn't too bad, you could go off into each realm which had sections for their RVR and get XP and levels for it. Queuing was also not a problem, it was fairly instantaneous, and again you got XP for killing the enemy and also for completing the game. Unfortunately, it was only myself and a few others, and due to various problems, the game actually never really got off, and 8 years ago it finally came to an end. But thankfully, just as it was about to be snuffed out of existence, someone came along with a giant can of gasoline and poured it on the embers of hope. They got the code and they made a private server and dubbed the project Return of Reckoning. And here we are today with very, very exciting news, because now it's just been announced that there aren't just 2 RVR cities, there are actually 4, because they put back in the Dwarf and the Greenskin cities. This has given me so much energy, so you can probably tell that I'm actually thinking about installing this and giving it a go. This isn't just a dusty old project where people visit now and again, the server is absolutely bustling. They've got a dedicated GM who takes absolutely no nonsense whatsoever, so you can guarantee there's going to be a nice environment to play on, and there's an absolute abundance of players, so if you want to queue and get into a game, then it's almost instantaneous. I cannot recommend this project enough if you're looking for something just to scratch the itch at the moment, or just try it out because you never were there back in the day. One of the things I really liked about this game is it just had so many features that were ahead of its time. There were ultimate abilities on your character, there were public quests that you could get involved with, and the PvP system was just so cool. But the best thing about this project is it isn't just putting it on a life support system, the devs are actually working on it to increase its functionality and putting in new features that weren't even done by Mythic. For example, they're putting in a brand new city siege system, and they're also adding in a zone called Land of the Dead and some missing dungeons. And if you want an example of just to see how far this game has come, recently they put a Dwarves vs Greenskin map and they put 1,100 players on that. I don't think I've ever played an MMO with 1,100 players all on a single map. It must have been absolutely chaotic and best of all, really, really fun. Anyway, if you'd like to check all of this out, it is the Return of Reckoning project and it's at returnofreckoning.com. And they've got all sorts of interesting stats on there. They've even got an armory. They've even got 6v6 leaderboards that you can see how many players are currently on the server, and you can also see the ratio balance across each tier. And if you're worried about kind of finding builds and getting into the game, all of that is there. They've got different wikis, they've got a career builder, there's all the documentation you need, and also a very helpful community. I'd really like to know from you guys what you think of this project. Are you playing it? Do you miss it? Why did you stop playing it back in the day? All these things and more. But for now, I'm off to install the game. Perhaps we can play if we bump into each other. I hope you have a great day. I'll be back with more news and reviews soon, and I'll see you all later.